Oh, sorry.
All
Right.
right.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
Yes. It's different today, folks. And by different, I mean something you'll have seen before. The main difference is we are not wearing hats. And you know what that means? It's another Jib Jabs, not a regular episode. It's a Jib Jab.
Hey.
And I've written something to introduce every Jib Jabs episode. And by God, you're all going to listen to it. And I don't care how you feel about it one way or t'other. Welcome to the Jib Jabs I've written here. Here at the Jib, we sometimes read about very interesting characters from history who don't fit into our FBI, CIA focus, but we don't think that should stop you from meeting them. Join us on our merry journey through space and time. Our first Jib Jabs was about Lyndon LaRouche, perennial US presidential candidate and radical leftist and far-right cult leader. Our second Jib Jabs was about Juan Pujol Garcia, a Spanish poultry farmer and freelance World War II double agent. All of these things are true, by the way, I'm reading here, so if they sound interesting to you, please go and check them out. Everything I'm going to tell you is true in the next, few sentences, and after that's Seamus's bit, so I don't know if it's true or not. Our third Jib Jabs was about the Corcoran Gang, a group of jail wardens in California hosting gladiator fights among their inmates, which is a glorious episode, fucking depressing but glorious.
Yeah.
Our fourth Jib Jabs was about Mordechai Vanunu, Israel's worst nightmare. Our fifth Jib Jabs was about William James Clark, a man who staged a brave river rescue while not actually a Green Beret, but definitely wearing one. Our sixth Jib Jabs was about Hong Shi Quan, who believed he was the brother of Jesus and got 30 million Chinese people killed. True. Our seventh Jib Jabs was about Tom Mooney, who was framed by the government because he was a socialist, and that is also true. Because I remember the thing, I remember the photo evidence you had and everything.
Oh yeah.
All the evidence he had. If you want to see that episode, Seamus goes through it. Our eighth Jib Jabs was about Rebecca Latimer Felton, the first female senator in the United States, and a very proud racist feminist. And today we are talking about.
Oh, it's my turn, huh?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so whenever we did Tom Mooney, this person was brought up, and the people in the chat did ask for us to do an episode on Mr. Joe Hill.
Joe Hill. Mm-hmm. Okay.
18.
Is that not the guy who shot Batman's parents?
No.
Okay.
No. 1879, Joel Emanuel Haglund was born in Sweden. He was the third child in a family of 9.
That's not 9.
No, but that's some kids.
Some kids. Okay.
I'm pretty sure that we don't need to do any paternity tests with this group.
Yeah, I think we got it, yeah.
Yeah. I believe Joe is the one on the left, but I'm not sure,
Okay.
to be honest. So, but, yeah. So, he was a third of 9, of whom 3 children died, because, that's what fucking
That
happens.
was coming.
Yep. Both of his parents enjoyed music and often led the family in song. As a young man, Hill composed songs about family members, attended concerts at Workers' Association, and played piano in the local.
Songs about family members.
Yep.
Oh, Jonas is a wanker. Jonas.
Right.
Yeah.
He played piano in the local cafe. Then his father Olaf, who worked as a conductor on the rail line, but he decided to leave the family by dying when Joe turned 9, like a real dick.
Selfish.
Some guys just, they just want to stick it out. His mother, Margarita, somehow kept the family together until she fucked off and died whenever he was in his early 20s.
Ooh, okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So in his late teens, early 20s, Joel fell seriously ill with a skin and glandular tuberculosis.
I don't like that.
He underwent some extensive treatment in Stockholm. Some accounts say it was radiation. I cannot find out very interesting if that's happening in the early 1900s, but hey, whatever. Yeah. It seemed to have cured him, or if, put it in some sort of remission, maybe, I don't know. But it doesn't seem to affect him the rest of his days. October... what's that?
Is radiation going to do anything for tuberculosis?
I don't know. I would never... we'll find out soon enough, thanks to, RFK. Anyways, October 1902... when he was nearly 23, Joel and his brother Paul immigrated to the U.S. Little is known about his doings and whereabouts for the next 12 years. He reportedly worked on various odd jobs in New York before striking out to Chicago, where he worked in a machine shop. He got fired and was blacklisted for trying to organize a union.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah. That's probably the most famous photo of Joe. Or Joe.
Hello, Joe.
Yep. So, yeah, records find him in Cleveland in 1905 and in San Francisco in 1906. He was there in April for the Great Earthquake.
Okay.
Might be a future episode at some point. In San Pedro, California in 1910, he would change his name over the blacklisting, first to Joe Hillstrom, and then finally to Joe Hill.
Yeah. He looks a bit like Woody Guthrie there, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of overlap between him and actually probably Woody was influenced by him. He joined the IWW, International Workers of the World, otherwise known as the Wobblies.
Okay.
Fucking badasses. Served several years as a secretary for the San Pedro local and wrote many of his famous songs. Joe wrote parodies of Christian hymns so that union members could sing along with Salvation Army Band, but with their own purpose. For example, in Sweet By and By became the song, Thou Shalt Be a Pie in the Sky Where You Die, That's a Lie.
Yeah.
Other songs include The Preacher and the Slave, Casey Jones, a Union Scab. His songs appeared in the it's a great tune. It's great. Unfortunately, I can't find any recordings of him, but a lot of people have covered his stuff, and it's fucking great stuff. Which you'll get a little bit of here in a minute. His songs appeared in IWW's Little Red Book. Yeah, so in the Little Red Book addressed the experience of virtually every major IWW group, from immigrant factory worker to homeless migrant worker to railway shop craft workers, described as, quote, able to articulate the frustrations, hostilities, and humor of the homeless and dispossessed.
Yeah.
From his song Workers of the World Awaken. Workers of the world awaken, break your chains and demand your rights. All the wealth you make is taken by exploited parasites. Shall you kneel in deep submission from the cradle to the grave? Is the height of your ambition to be good and willing slave?
Someone's been reading Marx.
Yeah, fucking baller, man. 1911, he was in Tijuana, Mexico, part of an army of several hundred wandering hobos and radicals who sought to overthrow the Mexican dictatorship. Seizing Baja California and emancipated the workers and declared industrial freedom. Unfortunately, the invasion lasted 6 months before internal dissension and large detachment of better trained Mexican troops drove the last 100 rebels back across the border. So in 1912, Joe apparently was active in a free speech coalition of the Wobblies, Socialists, Single Tax, Suffragettes, and AFL members in San Diego.
Love it.
The protest that protested a police decision to close the downtown area to street meetings. He also made an appearance at the railroad construction crew in British Columbia, writing several songs before returning to San Pedro, where he lent musical support to the striking Italian dock workers. It was there that he created the call and response songs that delighted the workers and became a staple in music ever since. So there you go, call and response, and also the idiom "pie in the sky" he invented. So.
Oh, he invented Pie in the Sky.
Yep.
He did not invent call and response songs, I can tell you that.
Well, in this form he did anyway. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Shortly after Hill got out of jail, he headed to Utah, Salt Lake City, where IWW members had been involved in a riot in downtown Salt Lake City. IWW members had prevailed in a strike against the Utah Construction Company on a railroad project in Spanish Fork Canyon.
Man, those railroad companies are fucked up, aren't they?
Right? UWW was able to prevail in their strike over the Utah Construction Companies. It's the railroad, like I said, in Spanish Fork Canyon, but several strikers wound up in jail in Provo after a skirmish with private security guards. On August 12th, 1913, James F. Morgan had been released and went to the IWW rally in downtown Salt Lake City. Railroad goers first sang Mr. Block, a popular song written by Hill. As Morgan began to speak, a man who had been arrested, who helped arrest Wobblies in Spanish Fork Canyon, led an attack on the crowd. An IWW member pulled out a pistol and started shooting, and a riot broke out, as that will happen, right?
Yeah.
The attackers were hailed as heroes in the next day's papers, and the Wobblies' popularity in the Mormon capital reached a new low. Mormons don't like Wobblies, just so you know, if you don't know that already. So
Well, they're like American Dream people, aren't they?
yeah, well, there are a lot of things. That's about the time Hill arrived, and along with his friend Otto Appelquist. Hill and Appelquist stayed on and off with John Ed Elsom in Murray, Utah, which, okay, I think that's what,
They only hang out with other Swedish people.
right? That's the place that they're hanging. That was the crib, right?
Oh, that looks like a place that you'd sneak up on if you're looking for John Dillinger.
Right? Yeah, it's pretty cool looking, actually.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. So the Ellis brothers had met Hill and Appelquist. All four men were.
Swedish.
Yep. And they worked in San Pedro together. Murray had a improvised but tight-knit Swedish community, and Hill was a welcome addition. Roger Tungeson, 82, remembers hearing his mother talk about his brother's friendship with the songwriter. Hill worked for a short time at the Park City Silver King Mine, which belonged to a former U.S. senator and Salt Lake Tribune owner Thomas Kearns. So you got a guy who owns the paper, and used to own a line. He's also a politician. I'm sure nothing bad will come from him.
Silvio Berlusconi.
Yeah, he fell ill near 1913 and spent 2 weeks in a miner's hospital in Park City. Appelquist found work as a steel worker on the outbuild in Ogden. Tungs's grandfather, Olaf Lindergum, remembered meeting Appelquist at a Christmas party in 1913. Appelquist was introduced as the fiancé of a woman who was a cousin of the Ellis brothers, and Lindgren later wrote that her name was Hilda Eriksson. January 10th, 1914, around 11:30 p.m. that night, Joe arrived at the home office of Frank McHugh in Murray. He told the doctor that he had been shot by a friend in a quarrel over a woman. Asked the doctor to keep quiet. Where or why I got wounded is nobody's business but my own. A gun in a shoulder holster fell out from Hill's clothes during his care. Another doctor, Arthur Bird, had stopped by after seeing McHugh's light on, and the two were able to patch up and treat Hill. He was shot in the chest, but no major organs were hit. So he kind of got lucky. It was a through and through, so the bullet exited his body.
Who shot him?
Well, he didn't want to say. Bird drove Hill back to the Ellison house around 1 a.m. Sunday. Now, back to the night in question that Joe was shot. Around 10 p.m. same night, John G. Morrison and his two sons, Arling and Merlin,
And Bugsy Malone.
were all there in a grocery store, their grocery store, at Salt Lake City Grocery, when two armed intruders, masked with red bandanas, entered the store. One yelled at Morrison, "We got you now!" and then shot Morrison. Merlin hid in the back of the store while Arlen grabbed his father's pistol and fired at the men as they were leaving the store. One of the men fired back before fleeing, fatally wounding Arling.
Oh, dear.
So two of them are dead.
Yeah.
Police first thought it was a crime of revenge for nothing had been stolen. There was a small amount of blood outside of the door, leading the police to conclude that Arlen struck one of the attackers when they returned fire.
Okay.
Now,
So
Morrison...
a guy who has a gun injury.
Yep. Morrison had been a police officer and recently retired due to fears of retaliation from those he had arrested.
Okay.
He feared for his life and his family's safety.
Yeah.
Merlin gave a detailed statement of the events, which include a vague description of the attackers. The police had a list of 12 men who vowed vengeance on Morrison and had recently been released from prison. Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah. So Joe was at the Ellison house Tuesday morning when the doctor came by to see him, gave him some painkillers. So he went back to sleep. Later that night, the police arrived to arrest him. Joe was startled awake by the police, and when he reached for his pants, a cop shot him in his hand. That shattered most of the bones in his hand. The police found a single red bandana in the room.
Oh.
They arrested They arrested Joe for killing John and Arlene Morrison. The pistol reported that Hill had in his possession was not located.
Looking bad for Joe.
Yeah. Police searched the room for Joe's roommate, Applequist, assuming that he was the other man in the robbery, for days, but were unsuccessful. Hill absolutely denied that he was involved in the robbery or the killing of Morrison. The Salt Lake Tribune reported that when asked how he was wounded, Joe replied, "I was in a fuss over a girl. I got shot. I don't want to say where it occurred." Joe refused to give up the name of the woman or the man that was involved in his shooting.
Okay.
So now the prosecution switched from revenge murder motive and went with the narrative a robbery gone bad, even though nothing was taken.
Okay.
The prosecution, for its part, produced a dozen eyewitnesses who said that the killer resembled Joe. Given that the profile of the killer was a young white man with average build, I'm sure that it was really hard to find anybody with that description in Salt Lake fucking City at the time.
Well, what about the red bandana?
Well, I mean, that's really the only connection, right?
It's not nothing.
Yeah, but I mean, who says it? That's not a common thing. I mean, a bandana.
Not me. I'm wondering how common it was to have a red bandana.
Yeah. 13-year-old Merlin, the victim, right?
Yeah.
He said, upon looking first seeing Joe, he said, "That's not him at all." But then, yeah.
Okay, yeah, forget it. It's over. It's over.
But then, a few days later, he tells the Tribune, "Hill is about the same size and height as one of the men. As the light was dim, I could not get a lasting impression on the man's features, but Hill appears to be very much the same build as the man who entered the store from whom I saw fire at my father. After my father had fallen and the murderers saw my brother intended to fire in return, the man I think resembles Hill crouched behind the end of the counter and shot my brother."
Well, look, we can't trust the Tribune, though, right?
No, I don't think so. But
No, I don't
but
think
even
so
if so, that seems kind of a slightly different response than "that ain't him."
Yeah, it sounds like something he was fed by a reporter.
Yeah, or police.
A cop.
Maybe. Okay.
Oh,
Joe could not afford an attorney, but
Photo
two
game's on
look.
point today, Seamus.
What's that?
Photo game is on point today. It's very good.
Thank you. Joe could not afford an attorney, but two local lawyers stepped in and represented him for free. By now, Merlin identified Joe as the murderer.
Oh, okay.
So he went from,
Not
oh,
the
that's not
murderer.
him, to, oh, it could be vague. And let me, yeah, that's the fucking guy. On the third day of his June 1914 trial, his frustrations with his lawyers escalated, and he tried to fire them.
Okay.
Quote, "Sensation after sensation piled up yesterday in the Joe Hillstrom murder trial," which they still call him Hillstrom and a lot of these things. The Tribune reported, "Hillstrom discharged his own attorneys, F.B. Scott and E.D. McDowell, in open court, declaring that they were in league with the district attorney and that he could conduct his own defense better than they. In the end, after a recess, Hill agreed that Scott and McDowell could stay on. Joe refused to testify or take part in the trial going forward, though. Still, Joe's lawyers argued the facts that would call into question the case of the prosecution. The defense pointed out that 4 other people were treated for bullet wounds in Salt Lake City the same night.
Okay.
That's a lot. I
Yes.
mean,
Yeah.
that's a hop in
with
town.
it.
Yeah, that's a hop in town, right?
Yeah.
The
No,
bullet went through Joe, but was never found or recovered at the scene. The murder weapon was never found. Joe's alleged accomplice, because they assumed it was his friend Otto, right, was never found. Also, Otto had no record, but was assumed to be a killer, as they offered a reward for him in the area papers. The blood outside turned out to be from that of a dog, which is probably the saddest thing so far,
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, before the police arrested Joe, their main suspect was an ex-convict named Frank Wilson. Wilson was one of the men vowing vengeance to Morrison after being released from prison. The night of the shooting, Morrison was alleged to have been seen on a streetcar lumped over in pain.
Okay.
Yeah, like, oh, this bullet wound hurts! What's that? He didn't have a red
Red
bandana.
bandana.
Yeah, he was using it to cover up a bullet hole.
It wasn't red this morning.
The police were looking for Wilson until they heard about Joe. When they heard about Joe's identity as a IWW
Oh,
songwriter,
here we go.
their interest in Wilson completely faded.
Here we fucking go.
4 other suspects were arrested before Joe. 2 were wanted on armed robbery in Arizona.
Yeah. Priors.
Another told lies to the police.
Right.
And a 4th had a bullet wound in his arm.
Joe Hill doesn't have any priors, right?
Nope. The only he has is from the Union.
But no
issue up in
violence
San
priors, like-
Yeah, right. No. Yet, once Joe was arrested, all 4 were released and left town.
We have our man, lads, so don't worry about it.
Yeah. Also worth mentioning, Morrison's widow claimed that she was told by her husband before his death that if something were to happen to him, that she should look for these 2 men and would share the information with the police. The police would not share these names with anyone and did not appear to look into them.
That's in the movies and the TV shows. The first thing they ask the wife is, "Do you know of anybody who might want to
Right.
hurt your husband?" Is that always the first thing they say?
Yeah.
These police got that information and ignored it.
Yep.
Well, now I'm starting to think they planted that bloody bandana.
Well, there you go. Right. A reporter also claimed that to have interviewed Morrison about a previous attack from an unknown man claiming they're out to get me. The reporter offered to testify and name the men, but the prosecutor said no, as did the judge.
Jesus Christ! They just want
it
to get
seems-
these guys to be socialist.
Yeah, it
This
seems
time over
unclear.
and over again, huh?
Yeah, big time. It seems unclear if the defense knew about this or ignored it at the time. I can't really be clear one way or the other from what I
No
read.
lawyers.
Yeah,
Well, he spotted that they were giving him a less than wonderful
Yep.
defense, didn't he? Yeah.
right. The police chief in San Pedro, who had dealt with Joe during the IWW rallies, wrote to the Salt Lake police, quote, "I see you have under arrest for murder one Joseph Hillstrom. You have the right man. He certainly is an undesirable citizen. He is somewhat of a musician, writer of songs for the IWW songbook." Boom! Gotcha.
That doesn't make him a murder suspect.
Fuck yeah, it does. Come on. IW, oh, socialist, evil. Evil.
Songwriter is the
Yep.
worst thing you could have said about him.
Right? This only motivated the prosecution more and, of course, added to the already growing media circus around the case. Of course, the area papers were all owned or under influence of the mill owners and or the Mormon Church, both of which despised the IWW Wobblies. So much so, both had sanctioned violence upon them. The lack of any cooperation.
The Mormon, you said the Mormon Church sanctioned violence on the
Yep.
Union, right? Okay.
Yep. The lack of any cooperation of Hill's alibi convinced the local jury of Hill's guilt, even though neither witnesses were able to identify Joe conclusively, and the gun used in the murder was never recovered. He was found guilty and sentenced to death. Joe was given the choice of hanging or a firing squad. He chose the firing squad. Quote,
Yeah.
"I've already been shot a few times. I think I could take it."
Hey. Like 50 Cent.
So, yeah. An appeal to the Utah Supreme Court was unsuccessful. Orrin N. Hilton, the lawyer representing Hill during the appeal, which I believe IWW was part of that.
Okay.
The main thing that the state had on Hill was that he was a wobbly and therefore sure to be guilty.
What's
Hill
the
tried to
nickname-
keep-
what's the name of these people?
Sorry?
What's the nickname of this union?
Wobblies. The
Spell that?
Wobblies. Where is it at? Just had it. WOBBLE.
Oh, thank
I've
you.
also seen it IE, but
Okay, thanks. I understand.
which I've heard about 4 different things what it could be, but for the most part it was slang against them, and it was
Okay.
one of those things. Oh, this is what we're called. Well, then we're going to own
Yeah.
it, and that's what we're going to call ourselves. It's kind
We're
of
the
one of those things.
N-words.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that he was a wobbly and therefore sure to be guilty. He tried to keep the IWW out of the trial, but the press fastened it upon him.
Oh, he didn't want them involved.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Okay. Well, that makes sense, because if they're a socialist organization, you think they'd jump in with their own legal team immediately,
Right.
wouldn't you?
Yep. In a letter to the court, Hill continued to deny that the state had a right to inquire into the origins of his wound, leaving little doubt that the judges would affirm his conviction. Chief Justice Daniel Stromp wrote in his unexplained wound was a distinguishing mark the defendant may not avoid the natural and reasonable inference of remaining silence. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, lack
So,
of
yeah.
information does not count as evidence,
Yep.
unless you're Sherlock Holmes.
So, yeah,
Oh,
of course,
yeah.
people are already starting an outcry, which we'll get back more to that, but I'll go ahead and show you guys that picture
We
there.
want 12 hours a day, week, work, Saturday, 16 hours. Our bosses, something. It's somebody's granddad.
The governor of Utah was William Spry,
Hello, William.
who was shockingly an anti-union capitalist. The working conditions during his time in office were historically bad. In 1911, one county reported nearly 500 on-the-job deaths.
Deaths.
Yep, which is about a tenth of the population of the county. Spry vetoed any bill that would improve workers' rights or safety conditions that came across his desk. Armed responses to organized unions were the norm and were met with little resistance from the state. Spry, in fact, endorsed violence against unions by encouraging the deputization of company gunmen to ensure submissive workforce. Spry followed the Hill case, and was more than pleased with the verdict.
Yeah, sure it was.
Joe was in jail for 22 months awaiting appeal, while the IWW and others started an international campaign to free him. Thousands of folks wrote letters demanding his release. The Utah Board of Pardons offered willingness to hear testimony from Joe, the woman, or the man who was involved in shooting him in closed session, but Joe refused, claiming that it would only harm the reputation of the woman involved. So his appeal was denied. Still, with this being a media event, support for Joe grew. Helen Keller, the Swedish ambassador, the Swedish public, and all became involved, a bid for clemency, and sent letters to then President Woodrow Wilson.
Helen Keller, by the way, we have to
Socialist.
erase her socialist history.
Yeah, she was a socialist.
Everybody sees her just as like the blind deaf lady, but she was
Yep.
a powerful socialist.
Yes, she was.
Carry on.
It generated international union attention. Critics charged the trial and conviction to be unfair. Wilson, actually, I'd get far from my favorite president, probably top 10 worst in my book, but anyways, he wrote wrote a personal letter to Governor Spry requesting him to delay the execution. Quote, respectfully, ask if it would not be possible to postpone the execution of Joseph Hillstrom, who I understand is a Swedish subject, until the minister has an opportunity to present his view on the case fully to your excellency.
Okay.
Spry offered zero fucks in response. Quote, your interference in this case may have elevated it to undue importance in the receipt of thousands of threatening letters demanding the release of Hillstrom, regardless of his guilt or innocence, may have attached a peculiar importance to it.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of want your governor to every once in a while tell the president to fuck off, but really, in this situation?
Maybe not this time.
The governor did, in fact, receive threats. 500 laborers from Tacoma wrote, quote, we, the working men of Tacoma, in a mass meeting 500 strong, forbid you to murder our fellow worker, Joe Hill.
Tacoma,
You'll be
Washington.
held, you'll be held personally responsible for his well-being. Now that's a fucking letter.
Yeah.
I like that shit. In an article for the socialist newspaper, Appeal to Reason, Hill wrote, owing to the prominence of Mr. Morrison, there had to be a goat, as in a scapegoat.
Yeah.
The undersigned being, as they thought, a friendless tramp, a Swede, and worst of all, an IWW, had no right to live anyway, and was therefore duly selected to be the goat. Now, if the people of the state of Utah want to shoot me without giving me half a chance to state my case, bring on the firing squads, because I'm ready for you. I have lived like an artist, and I shall die like an artist.
Hey.
Despite various petitions to the governor at the time, William Spry maintained Hill's guilt. On the night of November 18th, 1915, Joe gave his letters to a guard requesting to be cremated and his ashes to be scattered to the wind. In the morning of November 19th, Joe broke the handle of a broom and barricaded himself in his cell. As the guards tried to force their way in, he would stab them with a broom. Even after they broke through the barricade and Joe took several blows, he was able to overpower two of the guards and knocking them out seemingly unconscious before the sheriff and more guards arrived. The sheriff, by now who had become close to Joe, was surprised by his behavior and said to Joe, "Joe, this is all nonsense." And Joe replied, "What do you mean? You profess to die like a man." Joe, "Well, I thought I'm through, but you can't blame a man for fighting for his life." Which, I mean, fucking can't. I mean,
No.
you know? Joe Hill, now and always 35, was executed by firing squad that day on November 19th, 1915 at Utah's Sugar House Prison. When Deputy Shetler, who was leading the firing squad, called out the sequence of commands in preparation, "Ready, aim," Hill shouted, "Fire! Go on fire!"
Yay.
Which all I could think of is the many skits on Dave Allen with the firing squad.
Or the Woody Allen Casino Royale.
Yeah, but here's a cartoon of the event there.
Yeah. Joe Hill executed by the state, 1915. There's Jesus.
Yep, he's always watching, doing jack and shit about it.
Doing jack
Anyways.
shit. He's tied up.
Yeah. Excuses. He's God. Come on, he can come down.
He wasn't God that day. He was a man that day.
Yeah. That same day, a dynamite was discovered at the Terrytown estate of John D. Archibald, president of Standard Oil. Police theorized the bomb was planted by the IWW protesting the execution. The bomb was discovered by a gardener. Good fucking job, dickhead. And then it was defused by the police. No solidarity, man. Fucking gardeners. What the fuck? Big Bill Haywood, and a leader of the IWW, received a letter from Joe. Quote, "Goodbye, Bill. I die like a true blue rebel. Don't waste any time in mourning. Organize." Which is probably the most famous thing he ever said.
Organized.
"Could you arrange to have my body hauled to the state line to be buried? I don't want to be found dead in Utah." Fucking guy had, with words.
Yeah. That's fair, though. I wouldn't want to be dead in Utah either.
No. There's some of the other stuff that made the rounds.
Murdered by the judiciary in collusion with the mine owners who wish to silence his songs, but the songs are still being sung.
Yep. After a brief service in Salt Lake City, Hill's body was sent to Chicago, where thousands of mourners heard Hill's "Rebel Girl," which is about an Irish IWW sung for the first time. Listened for hours of speeches, and then walked behind his casket to Graceland Cemetery, where the body was cremated, and the ashes were mailed to IWW locals in every state but Utah, as well to supporters in every inhabited continent on the globe. According to one of Hill's wobbly songwriter colleagues, Ralph Chaplin, all the envelopes were opened on May 1st, 1916, and their contents scattered to the wind in accordance with his wishes. Expressed in a poem written on the eve of his death. "My will is easy to decide. For there is nothing to divide. My kin don't need to fuss or moan. Moss does not cling onto rolling stone. My body, oh, if I could chose, I would to ash it reduce, and let the merry breeze blow. My dust to where some flowers grow. Perhaps some fading flower then would come to life and bloom again. This is my last and final will. Good luck to you all, Joe Hill."
Nice.
At least one attempt to kill William Spry was carried out via a bomb found on his land, but it was defused. He was, probably. He was reelected. He wasn't reelected, but Spry served as a commissioner of the public lands in D.C. from 1921 until his death in 1929. Joe's ashes were put in envelopes, like I said, all over the world. New Zealand, South Africa, Europe. Each envelope also contained a photo and a mock headline, Joe Hill murdered by the capitalist class.
Yeah.
Plus a copy of his will. The identity of the woman in the rival who supposedly caused Hill's injury, though frequently speculated upon, remain mostly in conjecture. But William M. Adler's 2011 biography of Hill's represented information about a possible alibi which introduced at the trial. According to Adler, Hill and his friend Appelquist were in fact rivals for the affection of then 20-year-old Hilda Erickson, who we talked about before, right?
Yeah, I believe that.
Yep. In recent discovered letters, Erickson confirmed her relationship with the two men and the rivalry between them. The letters indicated that when she first discovered Hill was injured, she explained to her that Appelquist shot him, apparently out of jealousy.
Yeah.
A professor at Stanford, who had been researching the case, discovered that Otto Appelquist was in fact located by police and subsequently murdered by the cops.
Oh, shit.
Yep. One of the envelopes containing Joe's ashes were seized by the U.S. Customs in 1917 for being potentially containing subversive material. It was stored. Yep. Material. Yeah, right. It was stored in the White House National Archives until the IWW found about it after some negotiations. The IWW returned the ashes, were given ashes back, but not the envelope. IWW Billy Bragg and Otis Gibbs drank it with Union beer. The rest was sent to Sweden. A monument was raised in 2013, 108 years later after Joe Hill's execution. It's in Salt Lake City. And that's it. They fucking, Utah fucking murdered a socialist. So that's
because he's a socialist.
Yep.
They had other suspects that were much more like it.
Yeah. And they let him fucking go.
Lads, good news. You can go home. We have our man.
Yep.
Do you not want to ask me any questions? No, we're done. Yep. You can take your red bandana home with you. Okay, thank you.
So, yeah, that's it seems kind of relevant, folks. That this kind of shit went on then. It's gonna happen now. Look what's going on.
You think it would? You think it would be able to happen in a sophisticated democracy, like, wouldn't you? If someone could murder just for being a socialist.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they just arrested those Antifa guys, and you can't even say about whether or not they were actually carrying out a terrorist attack. Right? They're basically just protesting a situation. And they're going to say it's terrorism.
Eventually, they're going to get the leader of Antifa.
Oh, yeah. Well, they did, remember? Christine Ohm said that they did, so...
The guy in charge of Antifa.
Yeah.
Him, that guy.
Or his girlfriend. Or I think it was his girlfriend. That was it. It was his girlfriend.
The leader of Antifa.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend. Brilliant.
But, yeah, it's all fucked up, folks.
Yeah.
So... oh, and actually, I meant to wear my IWW shirt today, and I forgot. Oh, well.
You've got one.
But, yeah, I got actually it too.
All I have is a leprechaun shirt.
But, yeah, the best, is supposed to, print thing he ever said was don't waste time mourning, organized. There you go.
The shirt I'm wearing currently is Rammstein.
Yeah.
Which, as far as I know, are not particularly known for their socialism. They're the very loudest band in Germany, that's all I care about.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
That's the only way we're going to get out of this is organized. Pep rallies aren't going to do it, folks.
I think it's the only way we can get out of anything.
Yeah.
Because the guys at the top, we're waiting for them to sort it out. They're not going to do it. So we have to organize at the bottom and work our way up. Organizing politically works. It's one of the very few things that works. Voting doesn't work.
Nope.
Right? Organizing politically on the ground does work. It took me years to figure this out. Voting, it doesn't matter who you vote for. If you organize on the ground, the guys at the top will have to act, regardless of which party they're in. So that's, organizing works.
Yeah.
And that's why I decided to join a political party in my own town and get involved in various, civil rights organizations who are specializing in organizing, because it actually does something.
So there you go, folks.
Yeah.
But that's all we got,
our
right?
show, is it?
Yep.
Then our next show Well, you know what?
Should be FBI, but
You know what, Seamus?
yeah.
I'm currently working on two things,
Okay.
and you're aware of what two they are, right?
I think so.
You know the one I finished and the one I'm working
Yep.
on, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to ask the people in the chat which one they want? I will have a podcast script ready to go in 2 weeks on either Iran from 1953, where we left the last one, to last night. If you want to hear about that,
Let's just do
or-
that. No. Let's just
do that?
let's just do that. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll do Iran.
All right.
We'll do Iran, and then we'll do the FBI.
You don't
We'll
get to vote on this. We're going to
Yeah,
do the
never mind.
Iran.
We'll do Iran, and then we'll do FBI.
Yep,
So,
that's it.
yep. We didn't need you guys.
I'll tell you secretly later on when Seamus isn't watching.
What?
What? You all right?
All right. See you all in 2 weeks.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.